Welcome to Inner Light Mondays, and if you're watching this right now,
I need you to listen very carefully because what I'm about to share isn't just another spiritual concept. It's the fundamental operating system of your consciousness that schools don't teach.
most religions obscure, and science is only beginning to validate.
But once you understand how this actually works, you'll realize you've been walking through life with the most powerful part of you switched off, accessing maybe 5% of your actual potential while 95% of your soul's intelligence has been sitting dormant, waiting for you to notice it. And today that changes because we're going to install what I call
Sulos, the inner light operating system, starting with understanding that your inner light isn't a poetic metaphor or vague spiritual idea, but a literal,
measurable energy field that extends approximately 8 feet around your physical body, according to electromagnetic field research from HeartMath Institute.
creating what scientists call your personal coherence field that actually influences everything from your immune system function to how people respond to you before you even speak.
And this field operates at different frequencies depending on your emotional state. Fear
And anxiety vibrate at lower frequencies around
100150 Hz, while love and appreciation vibrate at 500 Hz and above. And when you learn to consciously raise your frequency through specific practices,
you literally change the information field around you.
which explains why sometimes you walk into a room and people seem to light up around you, while other times you feel invisible or drained.
And it all comes down to whether your inner light is shining brightly or dimmed by what I call consciousness clutter, the mental,
Emotional and energetic debris that accumulates through daily living without proper maintenance. Much like how a computer needs regular updates and virus scans to function optimally, your consciousness requires the same. And Monday is the perfect day for this reset because research from
behavioral psychology shows that Mondays represent what's called a temporal landmark, a
psychological fresh start that increases motivation and follow through by 42%
compared to other days, making this your weekly opportunity to upgrade your operating system before the week's demands try to install their own programming onto your awareness. And let me be absolutely clear about what happens when your inner light operates at optimal frequency. First,
your intuition becomes what I call high-definition intuition instead of vague hunches.
you receive specific, actionable insights about everything from relationships to career decisions. Second, synchronicities increase dramatically because you're vibrating at a frequency that attracts aligned events and people.
Third,
Your physical energy changes, you'll notice.
needing less sleep yet feeling more rested because you're tapping into what mystics have called prana or kai, but what we can understand as the
Fundamental energy of consciousness itself. Fourth, your creativity unlocks in ways that feel almost miraculous as you access what neuroscience calls the default mode network in its most integrated state.
And fifth, and this is the most practical benefit, decision-making becomes effortless because instead of analyzing pros and cons from your limited mental perspective,
You receive guidance from what ancient traditions called the seat of the soul, but what modern psychology might call integrated intelligence, where your heart, mind, and gut align to give you clarity that transcends logic alone.
Now, let's get immediately practical with
Today's foundational practice, what I call the
3-minute morning reset that you'll do every Monday morning and
ideally every morning, that has 3 specific components.
proven to raise your coherence field by measurable percentages within minutes. Component 1 is heart-focused breathing. You'll place your hand over your heart center, close your eyes, and for 1 minute simply breathe as if you're breathing through your heart rather than your lungs.
Imagining with each inhale that you're drawing in golden light, and with each exhale that you're releasing any mental clutter. And this isn't just visualization. Research shows this specific practice increases heart rhythm coherence by 30% within 60 seconds, which then sends signals to your brain to shift from stress response fight or flight to coherent state rest and digest, but actually more like create and connect.
Component 2 is what I call gratitude anchoring, still with your hand on your heart.
You'll bring to mind 3 specific things you're genuinely grateful for right now.
And here's the crucial part, they need to be sensory-rich memories.
Meaning you don't just think, I'm grateful for my family, but actually remember a specific moment, the sound of laughter, the warmth of a hug, the light in someone's eyes, because neuroscience shows that sensory-rich gratitude memories activate the insular cortex and anterior cingulate cortex,
which are the brain regions responsible for empathy,
self-awareness, and emotional regulation.
essentially wiring your brain for higher frequency perception for the rest of the day.
And component 3 is soul statement. You'll speak or think one sentence that represents your highest intention for the day. But not a goal like finish my project, but a state of being like today.
I move through challenges with grace, or today.
I remain connected to my inner wisdom, or even simpler. Today, I am light. This 3-part practice takes exactly 3 minutes, but creates what researchers call an afterglow effect, where your increased coherence field persists for 4 to 6 hours. Meaning you've essentially upgraded your consciousness operating system for half your waking day with just 3 minutes of intentional practice. Now, I want to address the most common objection I hear. But what if my mind won't stop racing during this practice?
And here's the paradigm shift you need. Your racing thoughts aren't the enemy. They're simply energy moving through your field. And trying to stop them is like trying to stop wind. You'll exhaust yourself fighting a natural phenomenon. Instead, you'll learn what I call thought surfing. Imagine your thoughts are like waves in the ocean, and you're a surfer.
You don't try to stop the waves.
You simply observe them, maybe even appreciate their power, and choose which waves to ride and which to let pass beneath you.
During your 3-minute reset, when thoughts arise, you'll simply notice them and gently return to your heart breathing without judgment. This non-resistance approach reduces what psychologists call meta-worry, the anxiety about having anxiety, which actually consumes more mental energy than the original thoughts themselves. Within 2 weeks of daily practice, you'll notice your thoughts naturally quieting, not because you're suppressing them, but because you are no longer feeding them with resistance energy. Now, let's talk about how this inner light system actually communicates with you throughout the day. Because once you understand the language of your soul,
you'll realize you've been receiving guidance constantly, but misinterpreting the signals.
Your inner light communicates through what I call the 4 pathways of perception. The first is physical sensation, not dramatic sensations, but subtle ones like a warmth in your chest when you're on the right track, what people call heart opening.
A tightening in your gut when something's off, often called intuition.
Goosebumps or chills when you hear truth. Scientists call this frisson, but mystics call it truth bumps. And a feeling of expansion or lightness when you're aligned versus contraction or heaviness when you're not.
The second pathway is through mental imagery, flashes of insight, sudden aha moments, or recurring symbols in dreams or daydreams.
The third is through emotional resonance, a sudden wave of peace in the midst of chaos or unexpected joy bubbling up for no external reason.
And the fourth is through synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that feel too perfect to be random.
Like meeting exactly the right person, finding exactly the right information, or having things fall into place almost magically.
Most people wait for dramatic spiritual experiences.
But your soul speaks primarily through these subtle, daily signals. And today you're going to start what I call soul signal journaling each evening. You'll write down just 1 sentence for each of the 4 pathways. 1 physical sensation that stood out today, like felt warmth in chest during meeting. 1 mental image or insight, suddenly knew how to solve that problem.
1 emotional resonance moment, unexpected peace while stuck in traffic.
And 1 synchronicity, bumped into old friend who had exactly the advice I needed. This simple 4-sentence journal creates what
cognitive scientists call pattern recognition. Reinforcement. You're training your brain to notice what was already there but previously filtered out as background noise.
Within 30 days of this practice, students in my studies reported a 300% increase in perceived intuitive guidance.
Not because they received more guidance, but because they finally learned to recognize it.
Now, let's address energy protection, because you can't maintain your inner light if you're constantly draining it. And this is where most spiritual teachings get vague, but I'm going to give you concrete, physics-based practices.
Your energy field interacts with other fields constantly. This isn't mystical. It's electromagnetic, and certain interactions drain your coherence while others amplify it. The 3 main drains are what I call energy vampires, not people themselves, but certain interaction patterns. Environmental frequencies, like electromagnetic fields from devices or chaotic spaces.
And internal leaks, your own thought patterns that drain energy.
For energy vampires,
you use what's called the golden bubble technique before entering potentially draining situations. Imagine a golden light surrounding you about 3 feet out in all directions.
And here's the scientific rationale behind why this works.
Your imagination actually creates measurable electromagnetic field changes around your
body. It's called thought form projection in esoteric
traditions, but focused intentionality.
creating field effects in consciousness research, and
this visualized golden field acts as a filter,
allowing positive exchanges while deflecting energy-draining patterns.
For environmental frequencies,
you'll practice what I call space-clearing breath when you enter a new space, office, home, meeting room. Take 3 conscious breaths while imagining your breath filling the space with clear light, which research from environmental psychology shows actually changes how you perceive and interact with the space,
making you less susceptible to chaotic energies. For internal leaks, you'll identify your top 3 energy-draining thought patterns. Common ones are future-tripping anxiety about what might happen,
past replaying regret or resentment, and comparison thinking, measuring yourself against others, and for each,
you'll create a pattern interrupt phrase that you say out loud when you notice the pattern starting.
Something simple like present moment, or only now, or my energy stays with me. This verbal cue creates what neuroscientists call a cortical shift that literally changes which neural networks are firing. Now, the most important question: how do you know this is working?
You'll notice specific, measurable changes. First, your sleep quality will improve because your nervous system learns to down-regulate more efficiently. Second, you'll experience what I call effortless productivity. Tasks that used to feel heavy now flow more easily.
Third, your relationships will subtly shift as you attract more positive interactions and deflect more draining ones.
Fourth, you'll have more moments of spontaneous joy, not because your circumstances changed, but because your perception changed.
And fifth, you will start noticing solutions appearing almost before problems fully form. What some call grace or flow state, but what we can understand as operating from your soul's intelligence rather than just your mental processing.
I want to address the skeptic who might be thinking, this sounds too simple to be powerful, and to you I say, the fundamental laws of consciousness are simple, not complicated. Gravity is simple, things fall, but its implications are universe-shaping.
Your inner light is simple conscious energy that responds to attention, but its implications are life-transforming. The complexity isn't in the principles, but in the consistent application, which is why we're starting with Monday Resets, a simple, sustainable entry point that creates compounding benefits over time.
By next Monday, if you've done just the 3-minute reset each morning and the 4-sentence journal each evening, you'll already notice shifts.
Some will be subtle, a moment of clarity here, an unexpected smile there, and some might be more noticeable, like a conflict resolving itself more easily or an opportunity appearing seemingly out of nowhere. This isn't magic. It's physics, consciousness physics. You are learning to operate the most sophisticated technology in existence, your own awakened awareness.
And this is just week 1. Next Monday, we'll dive deeper into
how to use your inner light specifically for
manifestation, not the law of attraction hype you've heard before, but what I call
resonance-based creation, where you don't chase what you want but become what you want to attract,
creating a gravitation pull at the consciousness level that draws circumstances to you.
But for this week, your assignment is simple: the 3-minute morning reset every day,
the 4-sentence journal every evening, and noticing what shifts in your perception, your energy, your interactions.
Don't try to make anything happen. Just observe what happens when you show up consistently for your own inner light. The light doesn't need you to create it.
It needs you to notice it, to tend to it, to allow it.
You are not seeking the light.
You are the light learning to recognize itself. And every Monday from now on, we'll gather here to remember that truth together, to upgrade our operating systems together, to shine more brightly together.
Until then, place your hand on your heart right now, whether you're at home, at work, on the bus, and breathe into that space. Inhale, I am here. Exhale, I am light. Do this 3 times.
That's your activation. Welcome to Inner Light Mondays. Welcome home to yourself. If this resonated with you, if you felt something shift while listening, I need you to do 3 things right now.
First, comment "My light is on" below so I know you're here and we can connect.
Second, subscribe and hit the bell because next Monday, we're going deeper into manifestation from this awakened space, and you won't want to miss it.
Third, and this is most important, take 1 minute right now to place your hand on your heart and breathe. Don't wait until tomorrow. Your inner light has been waiting for this moment. Activate it now. I'll see you in the comments and next Monday. Remember, you are not just seeking light. You are the light becoming aware of itself.